Okay, good afternoon, Claudia Zero, March the 3rd. Some guidance on how to work on your research project. Initially, I would like to suggest going to our Intellectum website. That is where you will find the repositorium in which ones we actually have all the research reports approved and from former students. Once you are in intellectum.unisabana.edu.co, you can go to Trabajos de Grado, and then in Trabajos de Grado, you click over there, and you can write Postgrado. That's one way to access them, and you will find our face-to-face program or our online program. In our online program, you will see like the projects that have been approved so far, and probably you will find some of them of your interest. If not, the second option is going to Universidad Intellectum, Unisabana, going to Trabajos de Grado, and you can actually, for example, write a topic, vocabulary, and you will find interesting titles: supporting incidental vocabulary learning in young learners by means of strategic training and online resources, effects of the implementation of task continuity to change develop vocabulary ability, the effect of video, etc., etc. So some of these indeed might be useful for your research, since they are actually about an area of your interest. Once you get there, an analysis that will help you is to actually see how you can structure your research question. An important fact is that you actually identify what exactly you want to, let's say, cover in the research project. If you have like an area like vocabulary, it's better for you to go to a specific area. In this case, incidental vocabulary. Let's say, for example, this one make it more specific, saying EFL vocabulary. Let's say that these ones talk about self-assessing vocabulary. This one's talking about legal English vocabulary, etc., etc. Vocabulary learning. So it's very important that through your literature review, you actually identify what specific area of vocabulary you want to deal. The second important fact is to consider the population. So you see here that they're talking about young learners, preschoolers, again, young learners, because in that way you might find studies that are according to the populations and according to what you want to do, and it might show a difference. The third element is the strategy that you will probably be using. In this case, storybooks, in this moment, tasks, in this moment, video karaoke, in this one, TV series and movies, social strategies, story reading, memo strategies. So you have to actually identify what would be your strategy, what would be that issue that you consider that with that strategy actually solve the problem. Please do not consider that the strategy is the tool per se. It's not, let's say, Facebook. It's not the website. There must be any strategy that actually helps students rather than the tool. Okay, that's one important issue to tell. The fourth aspect you should consider is any aspect regarding autonomy. Remember that since you belong to a master's program that is actually guiding you to foster independent study, to foster aprendizaje autodirigido, you should concentrate on a topic like that. Let's say, for example, metacognition. Let's talk about self-direction in this moment. Scaffolding, learner-centered. These kind of words are actually coming. Reflection and self-awareness, for example, self-reflection, memory strategies, because all of these are actually related to our topic, that is self-directed language learning, and it will actually provide a difference in your research. A third recommendation, for example, is when you go to the databases, or if you go to look for some articles, that is going to be, let's say, your theoretical framework. Be aware that there are a lot of studies, for example, have to improve vocabulary learning. So you actually need to identify like that strategy that might have a difference in your research. So something that probably is new or has been done according to the experience. Your next question is, where is that one? That you feel that you are in this moment a little bit confused, and you were talking about motivation, etc. Yes, the problem is not motivation. The problem is how we are actually helping our students to learn better English, and how we are actually helping students to become more autonomous in learning vocabulary. So I guess that the key of your questions is to identify the strategy that you will be using, because based on the theoretical framework and based on the literature that you have studied, it is an issue. So I think that teaching students certain strategies to improve vocabulary is actually an important issue that can actually help students. The other thing that, and I want now to go to probably one of these reports. Let me see if I find one on vocabulary. Okay, let's use this one. So you have to see your research as a connected process. So in this one, as you can see, the title is The Role of Picture Book Storytelling Used with Realia in Vocabulary Acquisition. The terms that you are using in the title and in the research question are the ones that you will be studying in the theoretical framework. So you will see vocabulary acquisition, autonomous learning, picture book storytelling, because they are related to the research question. So if in your question you have certain aspects, so they should appear in the theoretical framework. The research question should be as specific as possible, so it will guide you. The strategy, the population, and let's say the final target. This person says increase the acquisition of nouns and adjectives. See, for example, that this person is very specific. A strategy, a result, a specific population. And of course the objectives will be connected to that and will be connected to those strategies and those, let's say, objectives. Let me find any other example that might help you. Okay, let me see, for example. Okay, let's choose this one of my favorite ones. These students, for example, they just use a strategy that was collaborative learning teams, and they didn't pay attention to reading, to writing, to speaking. They only wanted to concentrate on how to help the students to become more autonomous. So again, the research question will actually, let's say, give them like the elements: collaborative learning teams, so it has to be really defined. Self-directed learning has to be really defined. Motivation, and those are the objectives. So be aware that the question should be specific enough so you can actually identify the elements of your search. The next question is regarding time. I'm not certain if you receive a document like this, and the most important is that you consider the time when you started the master's program and the time where you're supposed to finish. If you study a master's program, you take 2 years to finish the master program, plus 1 semester that, according to Reglamento de Posgrados Capítulo 9, you will have certain amount of time in order to actually finish your research report. Here you will have the calendar for graduation that I will tell you where it is. So we have graduation in June 7, September the 20th, and December the 6th. Depending on the time that you started your master's program and the 6 months that the university gives you, if you don't graduate before this time, you might have to pay some extra, let's say, money for the credits and for the re-enrollment. See, for example, that if the graduation is June the 7th, the whole process starts like months before, especially in processes like the final, let's say, approval from the research director, the paper sent, and see, for example, the dates, like 2 or 3 weeks to readers, another 2 weeks for the recommendations, some feedback that is sent to you so you can actually improve the last version, and after that there is a long administrative process till everything is paid, is received, etc. So the graduation goes to June 7th, September 20th, or December the 6th. So let me just minimize this so you can actually see like the whole dates that you actually need. Here it is. So the stages in general terms will be that you need that professor approves your paper. It will be sent to external readers. You will have time to improve it. You do the final adjustments to upload it in the system, and the payments and those things come. So if you want to graduate by June the 7th, September the 20th, or December the 3rd, these will be the grades that we will have actually for the to comply with whatever we have there. Okay, so I guess that with this video